Welcome to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where every cup tells a story, and every story starts with a sip. Join us on a journey of adventure, camaraderie, and of course, the finest brews, served hot and steeped in mystery. From dragons to ancient legends, we're brewing up more than just coffee. Today's tale begins. After weeks of gathering the scattered clues, the team finally holds the full map in their hands. The path to the ancient temple is now clear, but the dangers ahead are as mysterious as the treasure they seek. As they journey through dense forests and untamed wilderness, their bond is tested by the unknown. Now, grab your mug, settle in, and get ready for the next chapter in our brewing saga. Episode 9, Temple of the Blend. The light was fading as the group trekked through the thickening forest. The path was becoming more challenging as the trees grew closer together, their branches interwoven, casting the world in shadow. The ancient temple was said to lie beyond this wild, untamed forest, but the trail was difficult to follow. Bradicus Aurelius, ever the sturdy warrior, led the way, his heavy boots crunching on the overgrown path. The warrior monk's full beard fluttered in the breeze, his expression both determined and relaxed, a contrast to the intensity of the mission. Behind him, Patches moved with silent grace, her keen senses taking in every rustle of the trees, every sound in the air. She kept a watchful eye on the surroundings, especially for any potential traps or ambushes. Something told her this journey would not be easy. Nived fluttered alongside Java, the two dragons hovering just above the ground. Nived's fiery red scales shimmered in the fading light as he excitedly darted from one tree to the next, his curiosity getting the best of him. Java, in contrast, was more reserved, though his keen eyes were ever watchful, always on the lookout for danger. Fate Skuld followed at the rear, her pale eyes focused as she observed the shifting energy in the air. She had been quiet for much of the journey, her mystical instincts guiding her along the way. A slight smile tugged at her lips, knowing that the trials ahead would demand their full strength, but she was confident they were ready. The dense jungle canopy pressed in around them, the path barely visible beneath the tangle of roots and fallen leaves. Each step was a battle against the undergrowth, the scent of damp earth and ancient wood thick in the air. Ahead, Bradicus held up a hand, signaling the group to halt. The eerie quiet that followed sent a chill through the party. Something was waiting for them. From the trees, a low growl rumbled. Shadows shifted, and in an instant, a massive, feline-like creature with obsidian fur and glowing emerald eyes slinked into view. Its sleek body was nearly indistinguishable from the darkness, except for the way the air shimmered around it, distorting reality like ripples on the surface of a pond.
A shadow stalker. They don't hunt alone.
As if on cue, two more emerged from the foliage, their glowing eyes fixed on the group like embers in the night. The beasts didn't attack outright, they were circling, testing, waiting for the right moment to strike. Patches crouched low, her feline instincts kicking in.
Fast. Coordinated. We need to break their formation.
Or give them something hot to think about.
Nived hovered beside Java, flexing his claws. With a quick inhale, he unleashed a short burst of flame at the lead shadow stalker. The beast yowled, leaping back into the foliage, but it wasn't gone. The other two lunged, their movements blurring as they darted between trees. Bradicus swung his staff, narrowly deflecting a swipe meant for Java. Fate, ever composed, closed her eyes and whispered an incantation. A pulse of shimmering energy rippled outward from her, and for a brief moment, the distortion around the shadow stalkers wavered.
We don't have time for this.
They're bound to the shadows, disrupt them, and they lose their advantage.
Java, quick to act, lifted his small dragon hands and sent a pulse of light magic outward. The spell flashed like a star in the darkness, casting stark, unnatural illumination. The shadow stalkers screeched, their forms fully visible now. That was all the opening Patches needed. She darted forward in a blur, her daggers flashing as she struck at their flanks. The battle ended as quickly as it had begun. With the disruption of their shadowy forms and the team's swift retaliation, the shadow stalkers snarled and retreated into the night, their emerald eyes vanishing like fireflies in the distance. Our team traveled onward and finally, after what felt like hours of navigating through the dense forest, the trees parted, revealing a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood the ancient temple, its stone walls covered in moss and vines, its entrance marked by two massive stone statues, each a fierce, mythical creature with glowing eyes. The temple's dark silhouette against the twilight sky was both foreboding and awe-inspiring. The team gathered at the edge of the clearing, looking up at the entrance. There was an unmistakable air of ancient power surrounding it, and they all knew that what lay within would not be easy to uncover.
The temple awaits us.
The ancient stone entrance loomed before them, flanked by two colossal statues of mythical guardians, their glowing eyes flickering as if aware of their presence. Between them stood a massive stone door, covered in engraved symbols, their meaning lost to time. Yet, at the center of the door, words had been freshly carved, as though awaiting their arrival. To enter, one must speak the truth of what is sought. Say it wrong, and the path shall be lost.
It's a test. We need to answer carefully.
The truth of what we seek, the heart of the blend?
No. What we seek is more than an object. It's purpose, knowledge, a future.
The ground rumbled beneath them, and the eyes of the statues flared brightly. The team tensed, but then, click. The great stone door groaned, parting down the middle, revealing the darkened passage within.
Good call.
They stepped forward, past the threshold of time itself. The temple swallowed them whole, its vast interior an intricate web of hallways and staircases, each twist leading them deeper into the unknown. Torches flickered to life as they passed, casting long, wavering shadows against the walls carved with forgotten glyphs. At first, the path seemed simple, one passage leading into the next, but soon, they realized the truth. Patch's eyes darted between the stone corridors. Fate pressed a hand against the wall, closing her eyes.
Now, we have a brief break to hear a word from our sponsor.
St. Patrick's Day is coming. A time for grand tales and even grander brews. You know, this reminds me of the time I won a drinking contest against a leprechaun.
Tell them later, Bradicus. Like maybe in an episode.
Yeah! Right now we need to tell them about the real magic, our minty magic madness. A smooth, rich coffee with a swirl of mint and a hint of Irish magic.
And my enchanting Whispers roast with its medium acidity and creamy, refreshing body. Oh! And top it with a spiced vanilla foam, perfect for a St. Patty's Day adventure.
Luck and fate favor those who prepare, and those who drink the right brew.
Speaking of luck, that reminds me of when I...
Bradicus.
If they want the full tale, they'll tune into Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern podcast, where the brews are hot, the tales are bold, and the adventure never ends.
And until then, grab your own legendary brew from Dungeon Brew Coffee, available in whole bean or ground, so you can enjoy the adventure however you like.
DungeonBrewCoffee.com. Bold brews, legendary tastes.
We've been here before.
A shifting labyrinth.
The magic here adapts. It learns. It wants to keep us lost.
Well, I don't like being trapped. Can I just burn through a wall?
No. If it's enchanted, the flames could turn against us. We need another way.
As they debated, the flickering torches suddenly dimmed, and a whispering wind rustled through the corridors. From the darkness ahead, ghostly figures began to emerge, wisps of ancient travelers, lost souls who had failed the labyrinth's test. Their hollow eyes bore into the group as they reached out with spectral hands. Patches unsheathed her daggers. Fate raised her staff.
I really don't like this.
They seek answers.
The spirits loomed closer, the temperature dropping with every passing moment. Then, in unison, they spoke, voices like wind through dead leaves.
What do you carry that is weightless, yet holds the past, present, and future?
What? They're asking a riddle?
Memory.
The spirits froze, their hollow gazes locked onto him. Then, one by one, they bowed their heads, defeated not only by his answer, but also their own failures that haunted them as they haunted the temple's labyrinthine depths. The labyrinth shuddered, the twisting corridors aligning themselves into a straight path leading forward. The ghosts faded, their whispers lingering in the air like a final farewell.
Let's keep moving before they change their minds.
With their path now clear of spirits, the group pressed forward, their goal finally within reach. The heart of the temple awaited. And with it, the secrets that would change their journey forever. The flickering torchlight cast long shadows against the ancient stone walls of the temple. Dust stirred in the air, kicked up by the adventurers' feet as they moved cautiously across the cold, unforgiving floor. Their faces, lit only by the dim glow of the torches set against the walls, showed a mix of exhaustion and awe. The trials they had faced inside the temple's extensive labyrinth pushed them to their limits. Then, with one final turn, the winding hallways came to an end, emptying into a massive hall with intricate statues of mystical beasts displayed along the walls and detailed, but fading murals painted on the vaulted ceiling. Bradicus Aurelius wiped his brow with the back of his hand. His broad shoulders tense from the weight of the recent encounters, but his eyes still sparkled with a warrior's determination. He gave a grunt of satisfaction as he surveyed the massive chamber that now lay before them. Patches, the calico catfolk healer, stepped cautiously forward. She squinted at the large, ornately carved stone door ahead of them, where ancient symbols glowed faintly in a soft blue hue. Nived flapped his wings impatiently. His bright blue eyes gleamed with both mischief and excitement. Java, awed into silence, gazed with wide eyes and gulped. Fate, a knowing smile creeping onto her face, remained at the back of the group, ever watchful.
It looks like this is the heart of the temple.
I never thought we'd make it this far. But it's like they say, those who endure the most are meant to find the greatest treasures.
I bet it's something hot. Maybe a fire spice treasure, or a spicy feast of some kind.
If we're lucky, it could be more than just another spice rack.
The team moved together toward the door, their footsteps in sync. Fate Skuld, the Norn mystic, lingered at the back of the group, her pale gaze fixed on the door ahead. She had said little since they began their journey through the temple's trials, her quiet nature hiding a mind that had no doubt been deep in thought. It was almost as if she was waiting for something, perhaps a signal or a key to unlock whatever lay beyond. As they approached the door, the symbols on the stone grew brighter, pulsing with energy. It was a strange, magical aura, one that seemed to stir something deep inside them all. At last, they arrived at the final trial, a massive stone door, sealed by an intricate lock. The lock, a series of runes combined with a keyhole, shimmered with magical energy. Above it, an inscription read, "Only those who prove their worth may pass." The team stood in front of the gate, but nothing happened. It seemed they were being asked to prove something beyond strength or skill. After a long pause, Fate Skuld stepped forward, her silver staff glowing in the darkness.
The temple is testing our bonds. It's asking us to demonstrate our unity.
Bradicus nodded in agreement, and each member of the team stepped forward in turn, touching the runes with a hand or claw. As each did, a wave of energy pulsed through the air, and the door slowly began to open. The door opened on its own, revealing a vast, open space beyond. A room of unimaginable size, its walls lined with shelves laden with jars, pots, and crates. It was the center of the room that drew them in, a rather small wooden chest, intricate carvings of swirling patterns decorating its surface. The air hummed with latent magic. Patches knelt down beside it, her keen eyes scanning the symbols etched into the wood, her fingers tracing the patterns. Java fluttered over, landing beside her. His golden green eyes widened as he took in the scene. Fate Skuld stepped forward, her silver staff in hand. She murmured an incantation under her breath, the staff glowing with ethereal light. A moment passed, and then she nodded.
This is no ordinary chest. This is a holy vessel, one meant to hold something far greater than treasure, and it is locked.
Java reached into his pouch and removed the pieces of the key they had discovered along their journey to find this brew of the gods. He carefully assembled it, and it glowed as he slowly set it in the lock and turned. A sudden, gentle breeze swirled through the room, lifting the dust off the floor in a mesmerizing dance. The lock clicked and the lid of the chest creaked open, revealing a soft, glowing light from within. There, nestled inside, were dozens of small vials, each filled with shimmering liquids or various spices, ingredients needed to create the most divine concoctions known in all the lands.
Look. Each of these vials is a blend. We found it. It really is the blend of the gods.
There are so many things here besides the two. The possibilities are endless. Just think of all the spicy dishes we could make. Too bad we can't take it all with us.
It's more than that. This pantry isn't just for cooking. It's for creating, for making, for building. It truly is an infinite pantry.
We're going to need a safe place for this blend. Something that won't let it fall into the wrong hands. This blend and this pantry aren't just a boon, they're a responsibility.
We'll think of something for it. We'll protect it, keep it safe, and make sure no one can misuse it.
The future is calling. And this pantry will be the heart of whatever we create next.
Closing the lid to the chest, Java reverently removed the crystal key and returned that to his pouch. Prepared to leave with their treasure, Bradicus lifted the small chest. As the team moved toward the exit, the glow of the vast pantry dimming behind them, a soft clink echoed through the vast chamber. A small, metallic object rolled across the floor, its smooth surface catching the faint light in an almost eerie fashion. The sound of it bouncing lightly off the stone floor drew everyone's attention.
What's that?
The object rolled to a stop near Patches, who was closest. She knelt down, her sharp eyes quickly identifying the strange item, a doorknob, but one unlike any she had ever seen. It was ornate, crafted from a shimmering metal that seemed to change hue depending on the angle. The knob was small, delicate, yet it pulsed with a faint, magical energy that hummed through the air like a distant whisper. She picked it up between her claws. The weight of it felt just right in her hand, solid but not overly heavy, and the magical aura hummed with an energy that felt both familiar and strange. She turned it over in her palm, studying its fine details. She grinned to herself, her tail swishing lightly behind her.
A souvenir, perhaps?
You're going to keep that?
Patches gave a casual shrug, sliding the doorknob into a pouch at her side. Nived flitted over, his fiery red wings casting flickering shadows as he hovered beside Patches. His eyes glinted with curiosity.
Why not? It's an interesting little trinket, and it's not every day you find something like this. Could make a good story for the tavern.
It's shiny. Maybe we can use it at the tavern? It's magical. Maybe it wants to come with us. Why else would it have rolled over here?
We've already got what we came for. We don't need to go looking for more trouble.
It is indeed a gift. A token from the spirits of this temple for the respect we have shown here. That doorknob carries with it a whisper of something more. It too must be respected and special care taken with it.
Patches hesitated for a moment, feeling the weight of fate's words. Her claws grazed the pouch, but she didn't pull the object out. Instead, she gave fate a nod and ensured it remained secure. With that, they continued on, their path now more deliberate. The temple behind them slowly faded from view as they passed through the labyrinth, out into the open air. The cool evening breeze greeted them, carrying with it the scent of the forest. But though the trials were behind them, Patches couldn't shake the faint hum of magic coming from the doorknob in her pouch. Later, as they set up camp, Patches found herself absent-mindedly running her fingers over the pouch, the subtle energy of the doorknob still calling to her. Without thinking, she pulled it out, holding it in her hand again, and the hum seemed to grow stronger. It wasn't as strong as the magical pantry's pull, but it was persistent, like the distant echo of something waiting to be unlocked. Nived, noticing Patches holding it once more, fluttered over eagerly. Patches studied the doorknob, turning it over in her hand once more. She could feel something connected to the pantry, to the magic of the temple. But what, exactly, she wasn't sure.
So, what's it do? I mean, since it's magic?
I don't know, but it feels important. And I'm not one to leave something like this behind.
Patches gave a small, thoughtful smile, slipping the doorknob back into her pouch for safekeeping. This strange, magical artifact would surely play a role in the path ahead. But for now, she was content to keep it with her, another puzzle to solve when the time came. they settled into the night, the flickering campfire casting shadows across their faces. The blend of the gods was safe, their trials from the temple had been faced, and the future awaited. But Patches couldn't shake the feeling that this doorknob, whatever it was, would lead them into deeper mysteries still to unfold. The fire is low, the mugs are empty, and tonight's tale has come to an end. But the journey is far from over. Thank you for gathering with us at Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where adventure brews with every sip. Join us next time as new challenges arise, mysteries deepen, and the magic of the tavern unfolds. If you enjoyed this taste of adventure, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. We'll save a seat for you at the tavern. See you soon.